Earth isn't flat, but the solar system is. About 4.6 billion years ago, the material that makes up our own solar system was in the form of a nebula, which is pretty much a big cloud of gas and dust in space. Gravity flattened this material into a disk like this one and then pulled everything towards the center. Eventually, the pressure became so great that the star was formed. The sun, the remaining dust and gas particles collided with each other and eventually formed larger objects like Earth. The solar system. Together, the sun and all the objects in space that, as gravity keeps on orbit, makes up our solar system. We call the biggest objects that orbit the sun planets. Our solar system has 8 of them: Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. These 8 planets are divided by the asteroid belt. Asteroids. Asteroids are rocks that orbit the sun that are much smaller than planets, and they're made of nickel and iron. Unlike the planets, most asteroids aren't round. Comets. Beyond Neptune is the Oort cloud, a space at the very edge of the solar system that is filled with comets, which are like space snowballs that are made up of ice and dust. Sometimes comets enter the inner part of our solar system and can even be seen from Earth with long tails of iodized gases. One of the most famous comets is Halley's Comet, which only comes near Earth every 75 years or so. Be on the lookout for it in 2061. Mercury. The 4 planets on the side of the asteroid belt, closer to the sun, are called inner or terrestrial planets. The word terrestrial comes from the Latin word for Earth. Terrestrial planets have solid rocky surfaces, thin atmospheres, fewer no moons, and no rings. The closest planet to the Earth is called Mercury. It's the smallest planet in the solar system, and it does not have any moons. Venus. Next, there is Venus. It is the closest planet to Earth, and like Mercury, it doesn't have a moon. Venus shines bright in the sky like a star. It's about the same size as Earth, but you wouldn't want to live in it. It's the hottest planet in the solar system, and its atmosphere contains an unbreathable mixture of carbon dioxide and sulfuric acid. Earth. Next is our home planet Earth. Earth is the only planet known to have life on it. The last terrestrial planet in our solar system is Mars. Mars has a very thin atmosphere of carbon dioxide, and it has 2 moons. We've sent robots called rovers to Mars in order to explore the planet's surface. Outer planets. The planets on the side of the asteroid belt are called the outer planets. And unlike the inner planets, they're not made out of rock. Instead, they're made out of giants and gases and liquids. And they have many moons and rings that they much cooler and much bigger than the terrestrial planets. Jupiter, for instance, the planet Jupiter, is so big that it could fit about 1,300 Earths inside it. We call Jupiter a gas giant because, you guessed it, it's giant and it's made up of gas. Its atmosphere is mostly made up of hydrogen and helium. It has more than 50 moons. Ganymede. One of Jupiter's moons, Ganymede, is bigger by volume than the planet Mercury is. Jupiter spins really fast on its axis. That means the day on Jupiter is a little less than 10 hours long. If you travel another 650 kilometers, Saturn or so from Jupiter, you'd see Saturn, another gas giant. In 1610, Galileo Galilei became the first person to see Saturn's rings. Because his telescope wasn't strong enough, he couldn't tell what they were. He thought it looked like a planet has ears. Even though Saturn's rings look smooth from a distance, they're actually made from rocks and pieces of ice that orbit the planet because of Saturn's gravitational pull. Uranus rings. The next planet is Uranus. It's the sideways planet. Uranus has smaller rings than Saturn does, and it's so far away from the Earth that we can only see with a telescope. Neptune. Even further away from Earth, it is the big blue planet Neptune. Because Neptune is so far away from the sun, it's really cold here. The average temperature of Neptune is about negative 240 degrees Celsius. It is also the windiest planet in our solar system, with winds going at more than 2,000 kilometers per hour. So if you visit, buckle up. The planets don't all take the same amount of time to orbit the sun. For example, it takes Jupiter 12 years to orbit the sun just once. And the same amount of time, Mercury has already orbited the sun nearly 50 times. And Neptune hasn't even made it around once. Although humans have visited the moon, we haven't built a rocket ship that can allow us to visit our neighboring planets yet. We've been able to learn more about our solar system by using other kinds of technology. Humans have built incredible telescopes that allow us to see into our solar system and beyond. And we've sent probes to other planets and captured stunning images. Even with all this research, scientists are still learning new things about our solar system and its place in the rest of the universe. So maybe one day you could help solve some of the solar system's great mysteries too.